What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another brand new review for Family Empire Houston, you guys, season 1, episode 2. The episode is titled Skeletons in the Closet, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Family Empire Houston, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, we start up and we see Nicole. So Nicole is starting her day at 4 in the morning by getting her hair done. Ooh, child. See, I'm not a morning person, and then wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to have to go and do somebody's hair. You would have to pay me a pretty penny. Just saying that, right? Now, we did also see as when she was getting her hair done, she was talking to the young lady about Larry getting home, right? So Larry got off of work at I think she said 5 o'clock, but it was after six, well after 6 o'clock when Larry got home. So I wonder where does Larry work at? Like, because I mean, like I said last week, the traffic is bad in Houston, so that is one thing to keep in mind. I will keep that in mind that the traffic in Houston, any time of the day, is horrible. But then we do see as she's talking to her assistant, they're discussing business. She's talking about the doctor last week, Solange, that she showed the property to, and we also did see her as she was, making a deal for Solange, right? Now, what I'm noticing is, and like I said in last week's review, I'm hopeful that going forward, if this season gets a second season, which I hope that they do get a second season, because I actually really do enjoy this show. I like it. I just don't want, because I definitely can see the cracks with Nicole and Larry. I think some of it has to do with work, the working relationship with his work life balance. The fact that when he gets home, when he gets home, she's getting ready for work. When she gets off of work, he's already gone to work. So I do see that there's some discourse there. And then I also wonder what kind of work is he in? Like the way it kind of sounds, because I'm wondering if he's in construction or something like that. That's what I wonder. But I also do believe that there may have been some infidelities in the relationship. I'm hopeful that if there was, I'm hoping that they worked through that issue before they even came onto this show. Because, like I said previously, I definitely, for the life of me, do not want a repeat of Melody and Martell. And I also do not want a repeat of Letitia and Glenn from Bell Collective. Those are things that I do not want a repeat of, right? So then Nicole was telling Larry about the girls, when Jamisha, Jaquita, and Keisha were hanging out the last time, and how Jaquita kept talking, brought up the wall comment, and how, her feelings were hurt, right? But she does tell him that she does want to sit down with Keisha, have a conversation with Keisha, and I'm gonna tell you guys my thoughts and opinions when it comes to Nicole and Keisha in a little bit once we get to it, because I have some thoughts and I have some opinions about it, but we'll discuss it there. But what we'll do is we'll pause right here and we'll move on to the next scene, you guys. So the next thing we get is we see Jermisha. So Jermisha is meeting up with her mother and Granny Oscarine, right? So Granny is, setting up her event space because she has two events that are coming up that weekend. So she's setting up. What I will say about Granny is she is in, keen mind and body, right? Because she was moving around. I was like, and she's 86 years old, and I was like, wow, I want to be like that when I get to 86 years old. I want to be able to move around and just not be so, I don't want to be one of those people who are in a wheelchair or any of that stuff, God willing. But yeah. So Jermisha and Granny were talking about this property, right? And shout out to Belle from the Belle Perspective. If it wasn't under my video, it was under her video where we had the conversation about selling the land. So what I will say is when it comes to selling the land, I still stand on what I said last week, right? I definitely don't want them to sell it to, you know, them people who will come and gentrify it, right? Those white people. I definitely don't want them to do that. But I can, I get it, right? When I said last week was sell it to people in our community, so that way, when the money, when the businesses start to pour in and stuff, it's black owned businesses. But I did also watching this episode. I was like, okay, I'm cool with whatever they do, because Granny is like, she she gonna do what she's gonna do what she wants to do, right? But whatever she does is gonna make sense for her, right? And we'll discuss that too. But Jermisha is just explaining to Granny Oscarine, about what they could do to the property, how they can make so much money from it, which I definitely agree with what she's saying. And so, Granny Oscarine was like, okay, she said she'll hold off on selling the land, right? To outsiders, so to speak, right? And so, and she'll consider selling it to the G2s. She said she's gonna sell it, not give it to him. I was like, that's good. Don't give it to him. Sell it to him. Still make a profit off of it, right? But I feel like, sell it to him at a discounted rate. And let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section, you guys. But either way it go, I'm cool with whatever, I'm fine with whatever they do, right? Because as long as it's for us and by us, that's all that matters, especially when it comes to Houston, right? Because there are, areas in Houston that are predominantly black. And, now they're starting to get gentrified and, other people are starting to move into the neighborhood. Same here in Dallas, same everywhere, right? You want to make sure, because I know back in my hometown, there's the black neighborhood in my hometown, right? At one point in time, there were a bunch of houses that were along one side of the street, and the people came in, bought the bought some of the houses out, and pretty much kicked some people out of their homes, right? And what they've done, they tore all the houses down. They have been there for years, and what they've done now is they put a fire station here. I kid you not. Like I remember when I went home. Every time I go home, I look at this fire station. I'm like, damn. Some of my friends' grandparents' houses used to be on that block, and I know for a fact that they didn't give them even half of what it was worth. And so that's what I hate, when they come in, take our land, and give us less than what it's worth, but then they go and do other things with it to make themselves more money. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, and we gonna pause here, and we gonna move on to the next scene, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next scene we got is Keisha. So we see Keisha and her girlfriend Caramel. Now I'm not trying to be funny, and I ain't trying to be shady by no means, but is that her government name? Like I'm wondering, is that woman's government name? So Keisha and Caramel, they have been together for 2 years. They met each other on Facebook. Very interesting. I don't use now. What I will tell you guys, I don't use. I do have a Facebook, but I don't use it. I know that there's like what a Facebook market and Facebook dating and all that kind of stuff. It ain't for me. I don't want to be over there. We Gucci. So they talked about the girls' night, right? And she's telling Caramel that Nicole wants to sit down and have a they want to talk, right? And she just wants to know what the disconnect is between the two of them, right? Now, I have my thoughts about what the disconnect can be. It could be one of a few things, right? So here's the first thing that I will say, and we'll touch on it once we get to Nicole and to um, Keisha sitting down. But I think one of them, there are two things that I'm coming up with, and when I get to that point, I want you guys to tell me what you guys think, right? But because she was saying that as kids they were close, right? But as they've gotten older, they're not as close as they once were. And see, me with my cousins, when my cousins. Now I'm not as I was never with my brothers and my sister. I was never really close to them because I found out about my brothers and my sister when I was 14 years old. So 14 years had passed, and I was in high school. I was getting ready to go into high school. Actually, I was getting ready to go into high school. So I don't have. We never had a close relationship, right? I always wanted one, but we never had one. We do. I do have a relationship with some of my siblings, but it's just not super duper close, right? Whereas with my cousins, I grew up with my cousins, and our relationship and bond has been the same since we were kids. And of course, I have so many questions when it comes to this family dynamic, especially with their father. The fact that her aunt is the one, I think it's her aunt Jackie, who introduced her to the family when she was about 7 or 8 years old. And I'm wondering, why did it take so long to introduce her at 7 or 8? I have so many questions, but hey, that's something that I would love to delve into. But hey, if they don't, it is what it is. But what we'll do is we'll pause here, you guys, and we'll move forward, shall we? All right, you guys. So now we are back with Aunt Nikki. So Aunt Nikki, oh, excuse me, y'all. Aunt Nikki is the baby of the family, right? So she is meeting up with her sisters, Aunt Jackie and Cheryl, I believe, right? And they are talking about this. They're at the event space and they setting it up, right? So then they start talking about um the land, right? So the G1s are very traditional in the fact that they want to have the land, do whatever with it, right? And then basically it gets passed down to, generation by generation by generation. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I get that. And I'm cool with that in a sense. And, but the thing I'm going to go back to is I can see both sides, right? I can see, yes, let's pay off the G1's homes, right? So excuse me once again, so that way the land, that their land is theirs, they own their properties, and that's also something that can be passed down from generation to generation, right? But then on the same token, I do get where the G2s are coming from. Let's keep this chunk of land, let's let's develop it, and let's put businesses here so that way we can make money from whatever business comes here. If we put businesses here, if we put homes here, whatever we put here, we make money from it. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? But I think they want to put businesses there so that they can collect rent. But even they can even do it with houses. They could put rent houses there and rent those homes out to people. So hey, either way, what they do, I think I'm like I said, as long as this stays black owned, I'm cool with it. Now I don't remember which one of the aunts it was. I don't know if this was. I don't know which one it was, but one of them said that she don't want to sell the girls the land at a discounted rate. She wants to give it to them at less than market value. And I was like, okay. I mean, it is what it is. As y'all make, I hope they see. I don't know, you guys. I really don't know what I want from them because I go back and forth. I'm going back and forth. We're 2 episodes in. I'm going back and forth. Like my business brain, it understands. Like yes, let's keep the land. Let's make a profit from it. Let's put something here that the family will continue to see a profit from for years to come, right? But then, like I said, I do see the whole thing about selling it so that way you can pay off your kids' homes, so that way they have so that is ownership of their property, their homes. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, you guys, and we'll pause here and we'll go ahead and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Nicole. So Nicole was talking to Quita over the phone, right? So Quita had sent us some cookies. She said, I ate one of the cookies and I threw the rest of them in the trash. And I was like, girl, I hope that them one Tiff Streets. I'm going to pray that them ones Tiff Streets because, girl, if you threw some Tiff Streets in the trash, me and you got a problem because those are some damn good cookies. My God, today. Them some, ooh, and when they hot and fresh, they are amazing. Love them. But Queen apologized Quita apologizes to what's her name? Nicole, right? And Nicole accepted the apology. So Nicole told her that Keisha was coming over, and this is where we got a little bit deeper into the dynamics with them. So what I'm gonna say is, remember I was telling you guys a few minutes ago that I think that there could be two things that could be the issue with Nicole and Keisha. So the first one I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna hope it's not this one. I wonder if this, I wonder if there's an issue with her sexuality. That was the first thing that I thought about is could this be an issue with sexuality, right? But then the second issue came in was what I didn't talk about earlier. They daddy, they daddy, their father. So Nicole and Keisha are both the same age. They're both 40 years old. So that means that their mothers were pregnant at the same time. Now, I don't know if Nicole, well, obviously they must have been married because Nicole and Monet got the same mama. So it's kind of given the fact that daddy had an extramarital affair, got Keisha's mama pregnant, and he kind of hid that away in shame or something like that. And I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's kind of what it's starting to give to me. The more I think about it, that's what it's really given to me. And that's also what I'm thinking might be the disconnect. Because sometimes, let's just be real, when a man has an affair, it's not the woman who, if they produce a child, it's not always the woman, the other woman that gets the heat. It's really more so the child that feels the effects of the affair. And that's what I'm wondering, right? They also did talk about the fact that their father, he isn't the most emotional. He's not intact with his emotions, and that's a problem. Like kids need much more than financial stability. They need they need emotional support. They need so much more than just you providing for them, you know, monetarily. You have to show them love in other ways because money doesn't show love. It just shows that I can take care of you, right? But Keisha does admit that she feels left out, and I was like, I really feel like I really do feel like it could be those two things, the fact that she is, a lesbian or bisexual, whichever one she identifies as. She hasn't really said, and also the fact that I think that she's a product of an affair. I feel like that. But I want you guys to tell me your thoughts and your opinions about that in the comments below, you guys, and we're gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward. Next up, you guys, we see Quita. So Quita went over to see Jamisha, right? And what I will say is, I think that Jamisha is putting is it's the forest before the trees, right? And she's counting her eggs before the chickens hatch. Yes, you did sit down with Granny Octarian, right? And you did have a conversation with her, but I really feel like Granny Octarian had really made a decision. Now, granted, because she's talking about talking to developers and everything. And I was just sitting here thinking to myself, it's like, I think we're doing a little bit, I think we're moving too fast, Jamisha. I get what you want, I get what you're saying. And I think it's a smart move. I think it would be a smart move if Granny Octarine had said, yeah, I'm going to sell it to the G2s and I'm going to give it to you guys at a discounted price. But she hasn't said that. So I just really do think that, you know, Jermisha is getting a little bit ahead of herself. And so Jermisha's whole thing is when the G2s get together, and including Aunt Nikki, she wants to have the conversation with them about the conversation that she had with Granny Octarine. So that's that. Now let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. So next up, you guys, we see Jermisha. So Jermisha is with her husband, right? And she's packing for a trip that she's getting ready to take. So Chris is talking about the fact that when it comes down to Jermisha and Nicole, they haven't made a contract. They haven't done anything with that contract with him. And I'm gonna say this right here. You guys may disagree with me, but I'm on Chris's side with this one because if we haven't solidified a contract, then I gotta go make my money. However else I gotta make my money. So I can't sit, and I'm not saying that this is what is happening, but I'm not gonna sit around and just wait for y'all to say, "Oh, well, this is what we need you to do." Da 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 da. And I'm gonna say something right now because it's gonna come up a little bit later. yes, you can't go to your job and tell them what you're gonna do and what you're not gonna do. But I also sometimes think that family, this is one of the downsides of working with family. I also do feel like family feel like they can take advantage of you and say, "Oh, well, I need you to do this for me, and I need it done today." And so I feel like family takes advantage of you. And with this, if you don't have a contract in place, then they'll definitely, I just feel like sometimes family can be like, well, we were, you my cousin, you my brother, you my sister, you this. So I need you to do this, and this. Whereas with a job, you know what your set schedule is, you know what you're supposed to do and all that kind of stuff. But again, I want you guys to tell me what you think, what you feel in the comments below. We're gonna pause here and move forward. Now, Chris did mention to Jamisha that while the girls are doing their thing, that the guys are gonna go out with each other, right? So we see the guys as they went to Prospect Park, and I passed by Prospect Park because there's, if you guys go back and look at that scene, there's a Burger King that's across the street from it. I've been to that Burger King, and there's a McDonald's across the street as well. So I was there one Saturday afternoon, hanging out with my cousin. Well, he was at work, and there go these people at the pool. My God! But my cousin was at work, and I was in his apartment until he got off, and then we hung out after he got off of work. But I went and got me something to eat, and I saw Prospect Park. When I tell you guys, it was hard as hell to get in that parking lot. Hard as hell. It was so packed. So the next time I go down to Houston for a day or for a few days, I'm gonna go to Prospect Park. But that's neither here nor there. So we see as the girls are getting stretched, right? And the way Jamisha was going, you thought she was in labor, the way she was screaming. So Aunt Nikki did let the girls know that the G1s, they do want to put a pause on them buying the land as opposed to selling it to, excuse me, y'all, outside people, right? So Jamisha is telling them that, well, I had the conversation with Granny and my mom, and Granny was talking about holding off on selling it to outside people. So that way we could put something together and present it to her. And it is what it is. So they talked after that, they talked about, doing something for people who want to be brokers and all this kind of stuff. I love this. I hope we can stay on this wavelength with this show. Keep it positive. Talk about business and all that kind of stuff. That's what I want this show to be. I don't want to get dirty, and I don't want to know, you know, the tea on these people's personal lives. I don't want to get that far. Excuse me, y'all. Now let me know what you guys think about the whole comment that they had with Keisha about money. Do you guys think that married couples should have joint check accounts or separate accounts? Let me know in the comment section, you guys. And then what I also will say is, I hope that this show don't mess up Chris and Jaquita's marriage. Because Jaquita, yikes, that ending scene. I get it that is your family, but Chris is still your husband, right? And granted, y'all could get divorced today and you can move on tomorrow, right? That is true. But my God, I was kind of like, yikes. But that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications and share the video, you guys. And until next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.